So I guess first of all, show you where we're going. It's nothing crazy. We're going to obviously start from Sydney, head down through Goulburn, veer off at Wagga. I think to head up north from Darlington Point to Griffith. There's an awesome restaurant there, probably one of my favourite ones of all the restaurants I know. Take my daughter there because she's coming on the first leg. We're going to do some back roads then to get into Hay, across the Sturt Highway to Balranard, which is where we're going to meet Steve. Then we're going to head north from Balranard up to Mungo National Park. If I get the chance to call in at Yanga, we'll do that. Across to Pooncarie, up to Menindee Lakes if the road's open. And then we're going to come back down the Silver City Highway into Wentworth, not right into Mildura. Then we're going to backtrack all the way along the Murray until we find Renmark. From Renmark, heading across up to Burra, Crystal Brook and Port Germain is the plan to stay. Whip up through Port Augusta, Whyalla, Arno Bay, Tumby Bay, Port Lincoln. Fiona's going to fly in there. Then Port Lincoln National Park, Coffin Bay National Park. I want to get out to Thickstone Crevasse, which is, we'll see whether we can do that or not. Then we're going to head back to Tumby Bay where Wayne's coming over with his family. Got a little surprise there. Girls are going to fly out from Port Lincoln. Steve and I are going to head back up to Kimber. We like the idea of trying to get to Woomera, but we're not sure whether our passes will come through in time. The ground zero, that is. Otherwise we'll be heading up the western side of the Flinders Ranges, cutting across through to Wilpena Pound. Then we'll go out the north of the Flinders, cut through all the stations, which will be interesting. Back down to Silverton, where Mad Max is, or Mad Max was filmed. There's a museum there. If the road to Menindee was closed, we'll go to Menindee Lakes, and then we're going to head up to Wilcannia, and then back home through Cobar, Dubbo to Sydney. So 3 weeks. Not sure how many Ks, I've got a plan, but yeah, anyway, that's what we're planning on doing. We're in Griffith tonight, which is a really nice town, real food bowl off the Murrumbidgee River. Really nice weather today, bit of rain this morning. Tomorrow it means we've got a really cruisy drive, so we can stop and have a look at some of the vineyards and poke around before we head off into places where there aren't too many people. A couple of trivial things. I guess if you're driving your car up the coast or around town, you might get 8 or 10 litres per 100. I think we're doing 26 litres per 100, so that means we use about 3 times the amount of fuel of any other vehicle, but that's fairly acceptable for a car that's 25 years old. So yeah, in the morning we'll have a nice sleep in, I think, being our first day, and then we're meeting up with Steve tomorrow night. He's got a big day. Yeah, we'll be looking forward to some adventuring tomorrow onwards. Today, cruisy day, we went and got some local produce. I'm a big fan of buy me meat from Ashley at Alstonville Meats. He ships it down, we cryovac it all, take that away with us, pick up some stuff on the way, but where we can buy local fruit and veggies. So Michaela and I did that this morning, that was really good. Some good bread. maps to plan and also to reference all the time, so a lot of paper maps up the top here. And then over on the side here, we've just, really in the last trip or so, we've started getting used to the technology side of things. So we've got an iPad with mapping on it, which has its own GPS sender, which is Garmin, HEMA maps, and then of course we've got a little Biscuit Trail GPS, which we started with years ago anyway, so pretty much can't go wrong. We're into day 2 and it's a mad little area, Griffith. Roads are really good and diversity of agriculture. Wheat on that side of the road, rice on that side, and the rice fields look mad.
Ah, that thing just went straight through into my foot.
Here we are at Balranald, right on the Murrumbidgee River. So I think we went over one hill the whole day.
Now you go.
Got to say, finish of day 1, if you're in Griffith, Belvedere restaurant, soft shell crab and the goat. The goat's still coming out, but it was awesome, so was the regional wine.
Lock it in, Eddie.
Sweet as.
Just leave it down. Oh, wait.
In the head, they'll be perfect.
Watch out! See ya!
Oh, getting up some steam. Go high. Go as high as you can.
She's gonna be cocky.
Here am I going.
So anyway, you're going back to the story of the...
Here am I sweeping out the van going, oh, there's some sand in here. It's finally working. Oh right, well you turned because your nails are too long, that's what it is.
Wine tonight. French Grenache 2009.
I've got something. Away too.
I just thought I'd talk a little bit about tyre pressures because everyone who's making a video talks about tyre pressures. 24 in the front, I've got 28 in the back, and in the camper I've got 20. And you wouldn't even know that we had corrugations. Totally different vehicle to drive when your tyre pressures work for you. So everyone talks about it, every vehicle's different. Fiddle with it, get it right, because it's worth every second of pumping back up once you've dropped them down.
Just drink it all and then you won't waste it.
Kind of put your finger here for a minute while I get something.
Oh yeah. Look.
See the ratchet over here?
So just a little another note on the fridge, Waco 80 litre. Been having troubles with it, getting it to keep cold, which I did an experiment recently and chucked a thermometer in, and we were looking at 74 degrees inside the back of the cab, and obviously your fridge is not going to perform at all there. So I've gone for the 35% window tint in the back 4 windows and the rear, and the 5 at the front, the legal 5. So that's all legal, even though I wanted to go chromey. We've stuck with legal, and it's gone from being a 24-hour fridge to being a probably 72 hours without charge. We're in the full sun now, so we'll stick it on the solar and it'll run itself indefinitely now. But window tint, definitely the way to go. Do you know what you're doing? You got it going or not?
Yeah. Don't have 2 out, man.
Well, not a brand. Service, really.
We're back close to that track or not?
We're tracking back up to it. I think we're using our Mungo National Park fuel now.
So we've lost the track. We don't really know where it is. It just sort of peeked out. We're looking for a track along the river that goes to Renmark, but yeah, we don't know. So we're cross-countrying it. We put the drone up. We think we found a couple of marks, a K up north there, so we're going to head that way.
Come over to New South Wales, Connor. Break your ankle.
So that worked perfectly, doesn't always go according to plan, but modified some parts and got it going, and it's not the worst mechanic's backdrop, I can tell you that. Might have used up the time though to walk down that wharf. Could be a good thing. We've got to Whyalla, which is pretty much just our working port, as you can see behind us. We just popped up to this lookout. Ocean's quite pretty.
Music video. You turd.
It really does wreck the land.
Is that water just there?
I think someone blowed it up.
Something's gone wrong.
Blew it up.
No, they blowed it.
They blew it.
Look at the flames on the inside of it, eh?
What about you? Well, you can go here. Right? Anyway, we're just going to smash out a couple of catch-up diaries because we've just done a crap load of driving, and to be honest with you, we lost a bit of interest during all the driving of sitting down every afternoon and telling you guys how boring it was. But spectacular scenery. I think we got to day 5 from Kayla. It's Kilkenny, by the way, out of the freezer. Day 4, was it? Mungo, yeah, we talked about that. Day 4, anyway, 4 maybe? Oh no, 5. We ended up following the Darling. So we went to where the Darling and the Murray joined. It wasn't it, Connor?
Yeah, no.
That was pretty spec. It was called a conference. Confluence is where the two rivers join, and it was massive. It was like twice the width of the Nepean or the Hawkesbury, which is what we're familiar with back home. Followed that through some awesome wetlands. You can see the government's been doing some really cool work there with storing water, but not storing in massive dams, you know, like it's got good wildlife sanctuaries and so on. Again, hectically rough roads. I don't think we broke anything. Oh yeah, that's right. So we went to Port Germain, and there's a little video about some repair work we did there. Connor went out on the 1.6 kilometre jetty or wharf, which was cool. And then he made his dad do it again the next day. So not particularly friendly people there, and I guess if you lived with the wind blowing at you and shitty looking water out the front, you'd probably have the craps with everyone too. Yeah, that was day 5.
No jumping, mate. Mate, somersault right, yeah, routine. Yeah, that's a bit short.
So when? Day 6, we left Port Germain pretty early after some repairs, and then went up Port Augusta and then come back down the other side and ended up at Arno Bay. Not a great deal happening in Port Augusta or Whyalla. They're just basically ports, in industrial ports or commercial industrial ports. Iron ore, coal, power plants to supply the region. One of the coolest things was from Berry all the way down to where we are now. There's this pipeline that followed the road. I reckon it was nearly 1,000 kilometres of pipeline that someone's welded in just to get the water from the Murray Darling all the way down to Port Lincoln. That was impressive. And we stayed at Arno Bay, which was quite picturesque, and Steve and I got to know the pub owner. I think it was a pub and a caravan park. So we had dinner in the pub, and I don't know what time we finished up because he was buying, not even buying, just pouring, and it was a cool night, but we had to sleep in the morning.
wet and freaking cold Port Lincoln. Yeah, so I'm just heading out to the airport to pick up Fiona. Plane was delayed because of those crazy winds and that. Hired a car from some local mechanic, just gave us this Prado for the day so we could go out to a winery and yeah, have a bit of lunch, have a couple of beers at the local, and yeah, then the airport's 20 minutes out of town. Then we don't have to tow the van around the whole time while we're staying at the motel. But we can't work out the days, 6 and 7. We could go back to our day tracker, but we're just faking it till we make it. 6 and 7 was Port Lincoln. We come in early, it was blowing a hurricane and about 11 degrees, 70 watt nins, 70 knot winds. I'll just put this down. And we decided to spend an extra night in the motel, or the hotel, it was Port Lincoln Hotel. Went and picked Fiona up the next day, which was awesome to see her, and had a really good feed out at, what was it? Fumo 28 it was. So if you're in Port Lincoln, Fumo 28, great place to eat. Nice bit of rib on the bone. Steve had some slow cooked pork ribs, and Michaela had these little mini sliders, and we had some really nice local wine, so that was a good place to eat. And heaps friendly, the staff, and pretty much put on whatever you asked for. They were happy to flex the menu. Yeah, that was day 6 and 7. It was, yeah, too much time in town, that's what it was.
Don't be doing that while you're driving.
Yep, so we just got to Port Lincoln National Park and Memory Cove is sort of where we're heading. It's a hectically rough track, but not really four-wheel driving, so we're just taking it really slow with the vans. And I reckon this is just like Tasmania, where we're on the west coast. Cold, blowy, clear as. Yeah, righto, so rough track in, but pretty easy still, and you take it slow and easy. Good on South Australian national parks, maintaining it really well. Spectacular scenery. I mean, apart from West Coast Tasmania, haven't seen anything like it before. It's just amazing. This is where we're staying for 5 days. And there's nobody else here. I reckon it's about 26 degrees,
find out what the water temperature is, because I bet you it's going to be a bit cool. But yeah, I guess you could travel overseas. We could buy a 4-wheel drive and find it in Australia. This is our little camp setup. The Land Cruiser there, backed in so we can get to the fridge easily. Jurgens here, we've got the shower on this side, and fridge and kitchen pull out on the other side. We've cookout barbecue at the front. Steve's bunkered in right next to us with his A-van, which just gives us both good protection, button up against there. And then of course, it's the ocean right there. There's nobody around. There's a 40k 4-wheel drive truck to get in here. So yeah, hopefully we'll get the 5 days to ourselves. So this is my Bangalow sweet pork. It's a free-range farm up at Bangalow, and I'm doing it with local white wine, pomegranate, garlic and basil, and fried onions. Let this simmer for an hour or so, and then we'll flip that over, get it really hot, and we'll crisp up that top so we can get a bit of crackling going. And I think we'll chuck in, I was going to do roast potatoes, but I think I'll save that for the leg of lamb I've got. I think we'll have rice with broccolini and beans. Alright, that sounds good. Then I can chuck some chilli in.
Yes, I'm filming.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. So it's been a couple of days because we've been driving. Sweet. Hear that? Peace and quiet. That's gold. Out of the city. About 10 to 6, looks like the sun will set maybe 8:15. Been out on the kayak this afternoon, had a bit of fish, nothing happened. But if you can see, way out in the background there, I've chucked a crab net.
It's one of those days today. No driving. Got a little bit of fishing we've been doing this morning. A bit of schoolies action in the background there. And basically just kicking back and enjoying the coastline.
So we're heading out to the point out there. That's where the Kings and Jewies are. And if that doesn't work, then it's only 120 k's back to the fish market.
That's the way you do it.
This is a decent little track, especially for old guys with buggered feet. It's nothing short of spectacular. We're out to the point. I know where you do them hashtags or whatever. Hashtag at Robson Green. Robson Green. Come to Australia, my friend. I'm just going to try going right out to the point. Had some good squid in that in the bay this morning, but geez, they were crafty. So we think if we get to the point, like it really is a point, you can actually see where the current changes. There's a little bit of white cap and so on. I don't know if you can, you probably won't pick it, but just right out there. Yeah, we reckon if we can get right out there, we might be able to get some kings, jewies, tuna, or maybe some docile squiddies. Yeah, well, we're here. That's the Great Southern Ocean down there. We're in Spencer Gulf. Very good. Yeah, not a bad little spot. This is one of the cool spots, no doubt. These are the bloopers.
Can't force bloopers.
Sat phone.
Oh yeah.
Thought I'd give my dad a buzz. Ever since we got caught in Tasmania unawares,
You do get a tent.
we had no service. I've gone down the sat phone road. Hey. Oh, not a great deal. I just thought I'd ring in and see how you get on, just to let you know that we're all good. But we're a long way from any sort of phone service or anything, so yeah. But don't. It'll only work. All your messages and phone calls are a difference. That's me out there.
Yep, so we've dumped the vans and followed this little scratchy track through the scrub right down in where are we? Memory Cove Wilderness Protection Area. There's some really scrubbed out areas in the dunes here, but yeah, we've all picked a little nice spot here out of the wind. Yeah, I'm going to try and put the drone up so much you can see. Righto, so day 8's today. Yesterday it was sensational, sun and that, and we're back to the wind and the rain, although the wind's settled down now. So basically we're just at camp, kicking back, enjoying this cove. Packed out to get my crab net, and it's just been smashed by the storm overnight. So no blue swimmers for dinner, which I was planning on having chili rice with blue swimmers. But yeah, we'll just kick back for the rest of the day, and we've got another day here, so hopefully this will all clear, and we can show you how beautiful the coastline is when it's clear. But it was pretty spectacular. We went for a drive and hunted out some little tracks, did a few little walks, and there's some footage of that, how spectacular and how wild this coastline really is.
Let's go in this area. Lost a few boys down in the bay where we're.
Check it out, we're about maybe 5 k's from the dunes where I found to put the drone up, and it was windy as all crap out there, and here there's nothing. But the landscape's really changed. Here you can just see it's tessellated rock and really low ground covers dropping off to the cliff, and on the other side it was just pure dune as deep as you could see. But rain's coming in now. Rain's coming in again. So yeah, transferring water. This 12 volt submersible pump, and first we'll take 20 litres out of that drum, and we're going to put it in the. We've only got a 100 litre tank on the van. So once you've had some showers and done some washing up, it's, in the boot here I keep a hose doing exactly this, topping up. And I mean, having a little transfer pumps tops if you're going anywhere where you're not expecting there to be water, or actually when you least expect it you run out, any creek or anything. So it's worth carrying one of these little pumps. No brand on this one, eBay, and I've made a few modifications to it. Pump this 20 litres out in about probably 5 minutes. We've got another 120 to go, which is more than what we can fit in this tank anyway. But I've got a separate filter, so if it's just a dirty puddle, we can filter it and even drink it from that. just made it up to this point. Scraggly little track, and everyone's got phone service. Well, I don't have phone service, so I'm with some shit-ass provider. Everyone's making phone calls. But once again, another wild place. Yesterday was a gun day. It's sunny, still over ranges, but different today. It's pretty hard to know how anything survives out here. With these little flowers, a bit of scrub, a long way down. Look at it. It's a long way down. I guess it's a little bit protected behind this rock, but it's its home. Stevie V,
Hey mate,
what's on the menu tonight, mate?
we've got like a creamed chicken with mushrooms, which are coming on a little bit later, with some rice boiling over there.
Nice work, and you're enjoying the cookout barbecue.
Unreal, mate.
It obviously works well for you.
Yep.
And we're not even halfway through this little trip, but what's been a couple of highlights?
Mate, we've got the. Yesterday was an absolute highlight. Just coming here was just superb. Today was a bit of a letdown, but you take the good with the bad. So yeah, highlight was that, and yeah, just hanging out with good friends, and yeah, cooking good food and eating a lot.
The weather has let us down a bit, but it's given us giving you a taste of the wild side. There's no doubt about that.
Oh,
even though
sure.
you've been all through the centre and all those hot places, you come to a place where it's meant to be hot and dry, and it's freezing cold and blowing a gale. So just at Lincoln Tyre and Brake, because we found a bullthorn in the sidewall of the tyre, which I couldn't actually find. It had gone in and it was right on the inside, so guys have pulled the tyre right off. Had I been able to find it, I would have plugged it, but it was just bubbling a tiny bit out of the bath. You could hardly see any air, but I was losing 10 pounds a day, which that was happening on my guts. But yep, all sorted, and we're going to head over to Coffin Bay now. So thanks to the boys there at Lincoln Tyre and Brake. Cheers, boys. So we just got another key to another spot. You've got to know what you're doing when you're out and about. There's heaps of places you can get to, but if you don't know the right people or do the right research, you can really miss out on some sensational spots. So we've got a key to Whalers Bay. Heading out there now, which should be good. We're backing up a little. So we're doing Whalers Way now. I can see right in the background. Oh shit! Can't even see. Right out over there. There you go. That's where we were when it was blowing a gale the other day. Now it's pretty mellow here. But we'll just stop for lunch. There's a whole lot of whaling history and mad little rock crevasses and caves and swimming pools. So we're going to explore this for the next couple of days.
this weight rated?
We're going down here. Cat was taking the lead. Gold too. There it is. Good little spot for me. And once again, there's nobody around for
You got to hold it around this way, Carl says all the time. So these cookout barbecues that we're using, that Maddie makes, full stainless steel marine barbecues. When they come off the back of Amarok on a really bumpy road, they fall apart. So we're just going to see how tough they really are, whether we can assemble and repair on the go, and whether Steve's going to cook his, what are you having, cattleman's cuts or something tonight. So putting them together on one of these table stands, and then he's just going to piece the piezo back together and see how it goes. And of course over here we're in a caravan park tonight, just trying to get a few things back together before we head off to Sensation Beach, which is Coffin Bay National Park. But what have I got cooking? Alstonville lamb leg. Thank you boys from Alstonville Butchery. So we're just coming back to see how the cookout barbecues come back together. And there's 2 cattleman's cuts being cooked on the cookout.
And lid on.
And the lid's on. And that's after it's gone to ground. So good on you, Maddie. Well done. Strong barbecues. Want to buy one, buy them off me, because then I'll make a few bucks. But otherwise, cookout. Go to cookout. So we're at Coffin Bay now. I don't even know what day it is. It was 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Day 11 we are, so I don't know if we've missed somewhere. It gets pretty exhausting when you're humping Ks. We had a good fish at the point.
Right, okay.
Out where Flinders came in to Memory Cove. Had really top weather that day. I had my kayak out quite a bit in the bay, and then just going to hook up with one of my mates soon, who's coming around from Adelaide, and he said, mate, make sure you're not doing any swimming. And I said, what do you mean swimming? He goes, mate, freaking sharks. And I said, oh, I've been in my kayak. He goes, no one goes out in a kayak in the bay. So anyway, still here. Caught some squid. Real clear, still water, it was magic. Humped it out of there yesterday and went and bought some food, just stocked up on a few things. Found a butcher because I've run out of Ash's Alstonville meats. Had a shave and washed my hair after a couple of kiddies handed their Christmas list to me, and a little corral started nesting in that. No, it didn't anyway, but so we all feel a lot fresher.
Don't do that, he's not wearing underwear.
Yeah, everyone uses different tide deflators. I use the Storms, and then I use this little pencil thing that my dad used to use when we had the Chimera. Works fine. So we just tracked down the beach there. It's 7 Mile Beach. Every beach that's longer than 1 mile is called 7 Mile Beach, I think. And we're going across to Sensation. A couple of locals don't reckon we can get the van in there, so we're just doing a bit of recce to see whether we can. So far I reckon we can. So yeah, we're going to go to the pub for dinner tonight because we've know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who's going to hook us up with some decent oysters. That might happen tomorrow morning, but for the moment, yeah, we're just doing a bit of ploughing down the beach. Yep, so we've made it out on the Sensation Beach, which is on the southern side of Coffee Bay National Park. It's yeah, pretty spectacular. We're just deciding whether it's worth bringing the van out here because it's pretty windy. There's a couple of other campsites on the edge of the bay that are pretty attractive and mellow, but I mean, this is wild. I'll be camping here. I guess it depends on how the girls are feeling, so we'll suss it out for a bit and make a decision later on the day. Gearbox to scoot down that one tomorrow.
headed out to Sensation Beach today because they reckon that we wouldn't get a caravan out there, but I'm going to give it a crack anyway tomorrow, not tomorrow, the next day. So tomorrow we've hassled a bloke to find some oysters, talk to a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy, and we're going to go into one of the tiny little oyster farms, get some stuff fresh off the lease. Looking forward to that. And yeah, the following day we're going to take our van out and Steve's going to swag it. So we'll see how that goes. It could be an adventurous time. It's pretty mad out there. It's wild and beautiful. So looking forward to that.
We're just following this dude that I rustled up at the pub. He reckons he knows the place to get some oysters tomorrow. So you can just see the sun setting nicely in the background. We've just found all the oyster lease guys all around here. And he's taking us to the cellar door. And we'll come back tomorrow and know where to go.
Where's he? Which way you go?
The crab just fucking took off.
Holy moly. That's a huge freaking squid.
It's an octopus, mate. It's not a squid. Decent.
Is he still going?
He's going after your little baby flathead, mate. Hey, buddy. Go down and go get him, Connor. I'll go and grab him. We'll have him for dinner. He's stuck. Just put your head down here, dude. Don't be trying to get the rocks down. G'day, how you going? Hope you're enjoying the part one of our trip to South Australia. Pretty cruisy, as you can tell. I'll tell you what. How about if I get 20 subscribers? There's a button down there. I don't really know what subscribe means, but I've seen it in other videos. If I get 20, I'll make part 2. What happens in part 2? Well, I haven't really looked at any of the footage yet, so I do know that we find out whether we get the van out to Coffin Bay or Point Sir Isaac, where we can, where we might camp. Wayne's visit, that's a special, that's a surprise too, anyway. Yeah, Wayne's visit, that was good, as a top spot. Girls fly home, Steve's birthday, and then we headed up to the Flinders Ranges, climbed Wilpena Pound, went and saw where Mad Max was filmed, had one of the worst nights of my life at Menindee Lakes. So yeah, that'd be part 2, so 20 subscribers. I'll have a crack at part 2. Not 20, I don't have to do it.
I'm rooted. I think I've used up all the Heinekens from Steve's birthday.